And yes, we are live. Thank you so much and welcome to Tuesday Live. My name is Wendy Ologi. I'm called Africa's #1 parent coach. I am the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy. Yes, today we're looking at I just want my child to be close to me. Is that really a conversation? Welcome here. And if you're here, this is your first time, please let me see you say hi in the comment section and let me see you say, yes, I am here. I can see you, Apostle Ifeanyi. I can see you, Amaka Debieko. I can see you, Ekemini. Yadas for the win every day, all day, any day. All right, you know how we do it. Today's conversation is going to be, a little bit, interesting. A little bit, scratch that. It's going to be very interesting. And that's something that we must, pay attention to. All right. And it's a conversation that is very, very valid. Give me 1 minute while I get back to you. Alrighty, so let's go there. Alrighty, so I just want to be close to my child. Is it a trauma response or is it a real desire for connectivity? I want you to pay attention to the conversations of the day. Is it? I can see someone talking about the class. Is it really the intense desire for your child to be close to you can be a sign of unresolved trauma? Is it okay for your child to be close to you? Yes, trust me, it is. But that whole desire, especially if the closeness feels like emotionally urgent, there's this emotional urgency, there's this fear driven that is tied to your sense of worth, that is, about your safety. That's actually trauma. Now, I was in a conversation with someone in this way on a one-on-one session, and I found that when it comes to things like this, conversations around things like this, you will actually find that people deny that these things happen. People deny that these things happen, right? And every time that we actually you find that you are in that space, your sense of worth, your sense of safety is tampered with. Now, this person was telling me how the child failed an exam and she actually wanted to kill herself. Deep things. And the problem is that when we try to say, can you go back and look at what has happened to you indeed? Many times you find that you are actually struggling to even agree that there was a problem in the first place. So I was having a conversation with the team, and today, and we're trying to talk about the topic. And then, one of the team members suggests, why do you have trauma or something of that nature? And I said, unfortunately, Nigerians are very lost in thought, or they are very hypocritical. We were raised to be hypocritical. So we don't want to hear that we have trauma. We actually do not want to hear that we have trauma. So everything that happens to us, all we actually think about is how we're able to actually just turn out okay. So every time we think about things about trauma, all we remember is that we're okay, we turned out okay, and all the rest of them. But the question today will be, did we really turn out okay? Or we are afraid to go and hit that thing that happened to us? Hi, Dr. Aisha Muritala. Now, today I was sharing, that in the scriptures, Jesus Christ was sharing with the disciples in real hard talk. He could only tell disciples the truth and the hard talk, and he would come and speak in parables in the outside. So today I was sharing something with the inner circle parents, and I was talking about deep-seated trauma with some of the things that have been happening in the online space today. Unfortunately, it's not everything I can share in public. And that's why there's something called an inner circle. Even Jesus kept one, right? All right, that's on another side. But my point is, I was trying to share that most of the things that happen to us is actually as a result is actually as a result of the trauma, the experiences that we have had. And especially for the men that were raised in our time, there were lots and lots of trauma. So you see men who beat up their wives, men who are always angry, men who are... So yes, it's okay to sit and castigate these men, but it's beyond castigating the men. It is that these men didn't get what it is that they were supposed to get, which is the real problem. Hi, Mom. And my mom is here. Hello, Mama. Yes, that's actually the real issue. So if you're coming in here, say hello to my mama. Yes, please. I just want to feel like I have mommy this afternoon, Abby. Yes. And by the way, my mom just welcomed her 10th grandchild. It's something to actually be proud of. Congratulations to you, mommy. All right, so let's go. I'm sure my dad is listening at the background. I'm sure he doesn't know how to log into this YouTube. That's a conversation for another day. I hope he doesn't call me after this class. Okay, so let's go there. So, there are some possible trauma-related roots that is behind the feeling of the urgency of wanting to be close to your child. There are these things, right? That you see a lot of parents do. And I say, no, I just want my child to tell me everything. Newsflash. No child ever tells you everything. And it's not in the negative part of it. It is just that as human beings, as we begin to seek independence, you can't really hear everything from a child. And I think it's actually witchcraft for you to think that you want to hear everything from someone, even if it's your child. Yeah, trust me when I say so. I think it's witchcraft. Why are you so obsessed about everything? Allow the person to actually be able to connect with you and share the things that they need. So no matter how you fight, your child is never going to share everything about their lives with you. And if you demand everything, hello, that's witchcraft. So if you have that urgency, you have that thing of, I just want to be close to my children. And the moment there's something, you say, oh, there's something missing. So don't you to go back and ask yourself, is this about connection or is it about control? Is it about connection or is it about... The question I always ask myself when something is wrong in my parenting is, am I seeking control? Am I seeking correction or connection? Most times, you find that what we are actually seeking indeed is control. That's what we're seeking. It's control. Honestly speaking, when you sit with it, it's going to dawn on you. See, most of us are coming from, let me use the word, a damaged parenting process. Damaged parenting process that looked like it was okay. That looked like we are okay. Right? So what are the things that caused you to actually get to that point where you feel the emotional urgency, the fear-driven? Again, let me say this. Being connected to your child or being close to your child is not a negative. No, it's not. I said that when it becomes emotionally urgent, when it becomes fear-driven, hey, if I'm not close to my child now, hey, she will just spoil. She needs to tell me everything that's happening in her life. Oh, I cannot let her go. I'm the only one that she can talk to. I'm the only one that she's close to. I'm the only one that can give her advice. I'm the only one. Only me. Only by yourself. I saw a video recently where this young girl, who is about my daughter's age, right, was someone tagged me on it on social media, where was being, admonished. The girl was crying and was saying, I want to go out. And the mother was, kept saying, why do you want to go out? You can't go anywhere. I cannot allow you. Men will destroy you. Look at how fine you are. My heart was shattered. Not because of what the mother was saying, but because of the comments in the comment section. There were more than 80% of other mothers who were saying, yes, you are doing the right thing. Hey, don't leave her. Be close to her. Be the only person who can talk to her. Hey, control her life. Forget what people are telling you. Hey, that's the urgency in connection. That's the fear-driven connection. You are not close to that child. You do not even know who that child is, unfortunately. And then I went further, a bit further, to actually check. And I saw that this child who is 16 wore adult-fitted clothing to actually snap because she turned 15. or 16, thereabout. Hair long, breast cleavage open at 15 to 16, and that's a child you are locking up according to you. Congratulations to you. But this is trauma. That's what it is. Trauma. Trauma-based parenting. Trauma-based parenting. Because you find that, and the comment section showed me how damaged we were. Not the post. The post is one person's opinion. The comment section was an array of people from different parts sharing different things. Is that relationship, that closeness tied to your sense of worth? If I'm not close to my daughter, there's something that it says I'm not a good mother. Who told you? Is it tied to your sense of worth? Is it tied to your safety? I need to be close to my children so that I feel safe. I feel that I'm doing something right. I'm doing something right. Now, here is the possible trauma-related roots behind this feeling. Number one, fear of abandonment or rejection. Fear of abandonment or rejection. If you experience neglect, abandonment, emotionally unavailable parents, you will crave closeness with your child in a way that would actually feel that unmet need. And most times, in a way that will destroy them. In a way that will destroy them. And it's always very funny when we do some of these things. And trauma leaves trauma does not know you, doesn't know who you are. It will come, it will demand of you at every point in time, right? So most times, trauma makes judgment calls for us, even when we do not want to. All right? Even when we do not want to, trauma is making a judgment call for you. So here is how it works. If you have a dysfunctional attachment when you were a child, one of the things that is going to happen to you is that when you grow older, you either become also as detached or you respond to be able to actually create a bond that is closer. Meanwhile, those two extremes are trauma response. Today, there was a trending stuff on Twitter, and one of my staff had brought it to me, and it was a trend on a particular Twitter person that shared about submission. And then he says, oh, the wife, he found it that he thought that the wife didn't submit enough at the beginning of their marriage, and we're just trying to share a lot. Everywhere went haywire. Women fighting tooth and nail about submission. All the comments were, you want to subjugate her. Why will she respect? Once you say submission in the Nigerian social space, you say, oh, I submit my husband. You are the enemy. Trauma. Now, let me flip it back to show you what happened. Most of our mothers were subjugated. That was not submission. And most of us saw it and hated it. So we told ourselves, I will never take this rubbish my mother have taken. Once they do me anything, I'm off. Now, these are the two extremes it's created for us. The extreme of, I will not take any nonsense. In fact, even if the person is suggesting, see, trauma is a terrible thing. Even if the person is, suggesting, right? I won't even take it. Even if you hear where somebody says, hey, maybe I knelt down to greet my husband. The trendy one was somebody kneeling down to say her marital vow. We say, no, it's not okay. The person must do it the way you want it. Who did all this thing? So you get to that point where you fight anything that looks like it, even when it's okay, which one is right. No, don't even bring it near me. Why? You saw your mother do it and it backfired. Because your mother was married to a man who didn't know what it is to be a husband and a father, unfortunately. Then the other extreme is that you replicate the same thing that happened to your mother. You are there, submissive, whatever it is, or subjugated, because I do not believe that submissiveness is that you are there dying. subjugated, and you just say, that's the only way that we can do it. 2 trauma responses. Let me tell you another trauma response. Another trauma response is raising our children in poverty. You were raised in poverty, right? And then you swore. So your trigger, I've heard Coach Umeka say this a lot. I belong to a financial community, and when they were talking about trauma, I was talking about financial trauma. I could get it. I could feel it. So your trigger to create wealth was that you came from poverty. So because of that, you will do anything to create wealth. And then when you have created wealth, which you have, you didn't heal either. The fact that you're healthy doesn't mean that you have healed of your trauma. Newsflash. So you can cover up trauma, right? But it's still there. You can't really cover it. So you can pretend around it. So you can make all the money and say, no, nothing is there, but you're still struggling. Now, here is what happens. You make that money, you raise your children, you begin to raise and say, my children will never suffer the things I have suffered. That's trauma speaking. You haven't dealt with it. That is trauma speaking. And every time, you actually find yourself in that space, you just say, only thing that flashes in your head is what you went through. So you see yourself, your shoe cut, your parents couldn't replace it. And then, you were so sad, you were so traumatized. So anything your children do now, for them to have any kind of life that signifies any kind of suffering, in quote, you block it. That's why your children cannot move from one junction to the next. Because according to you, so bad, trekking. The world is so bad now. That's one extreme. The other extreme will now be, I went through the same thing. Why won't you go through it? That is what they did to us, and we turned out okay. They beat us, did we die? They called us goats. Did you become goats? I often ask humorously, are you sure you didn't become goats? Look around you now. 260 million full-fledged intelligent people being ruled by people that we don't understand. Didn't we turn out to be goats? Think about it again. Now, these are the conversations. 2 extremes that deal with all of the things that, destroy the child. So you still haven't dealt with it. You still haven't dealt with it. Unfortunately, are you here? Are you here? Can you hear me? If you can, let me see you share the fire emojis in the comment section. And if you've not shared this link to invite someone, we're about to uncover something very solid with you. If you don't share this thing with someone, then of course you do someone a disservice. Today, somebody sent me something. I said the best thing you can do to any information that you get is actually to become an ambassador. The right information is to become an ambassador of it. Somebody said I'm shaking a glass table. But that's our sad reality. As funny as it sounds, we all claim we didn't turn out bad. We all claim we turned out okay, but did we? Did we? The conversation about we turned out, they did it to us. We turned out okay. It's trauma speaking. Because why are you hitting your child? You're hitting your child with no empirical this thing that says to you that this actually works. All you say is that they beat me. I woke up and I made it. You're making it is because you have money. You have 110 million naira in your account, and according to you, you have money. You have arrived. So therefore, you turned out okay. Hello. So your definition of okay is the problem. And then let's even take it further. Why do you want to be just okay? Did God create you to just be okay? What is the okay? Why are you not excellent in full potential of what it is that God has called you to be? So you are okay being okay, which is the conversation. You're okay being okay. So you can see trauma puts out different kind of things. When you go on social media, you see people speak out of trauma. It's so heavy. I think that our down here is actually one of the most traumatized systems that we have. Honestly speaking, it shows in our comment It shows in our conversations. It shows in how we fight people who have different opinions. People have to agree with you. That's the way you fight your children. They say no, you fight them because you're traumatized with the word no. You beat a 4-year-old for saying no to you and you say you are okay. That's not normal. There's everything abnormal about it. You actually raise your hand and hit someone and tell yourself that, no, it's okay for me to correct them. I need to beat them. You beat them to stupor. Sometimes you give them marks and you feel you are okay. You feel you are okay. No, you are not okay. No, you're not. Now, it's easy for us to come and say, hey, why did the man beat the wife until the wife died? Nigerians are very funny people. Go on social media again and see a woman who is running mouth and insulting the husband. You will see people under the same chat telling you, why didn't you beat her up? Rubbish. We're two-sided, hypocritical. That's the worst thing that our parenting gave us. Our parents raised the most hypocritical set of human beings I have seen and worked with. The same set of people, we still go and say, you did not beat her, you need to beat her. But it's the same people that are now all over the place. Justice has been served. Ostinachi's husband is going to prison. Justice served. Let it be a deterrent. But you call your brother, and say, oh, your wife said that to you, did not slap her. But you're on social media shouting, justice has been served. Trauma. If you don't deal with it, you won't even know when you will share those things and it becomes part of your process. I usually tell us that even our Christianity is tainted with trauma. Our Christianity is tainted with trauma. That's the truth. Because, that's why we say things. We go out there and somebody say, leave God aside. And we leave God and deal with you. You think it's normal to say those things? No, it's not normal. We were raised to be two-faced. Our parents wanted us to spew a certain way so that they could actually call us good. So because obedience and goodness was a trophy, was the most important thing to the people who raised us, we became those people. We became those kind of people. So we started to front hypocrisy so that we can be liked, we can be validated. Why do you think that till now you seek validation for people who do not matter? Why? Because you constantly were told that you needed external validation to do the things that you need to do. So until we understand that what we have been through, all right, it's a big deal. And we discover that these things that is inside of us, if we don't dig deeper, we won't even know that there's a problem. So now we're raising children who will want to reflect us. You say, no, I'm not like that, though. I don't say things like that. But when it's time, you actually do say them. I watched a very Christian woman who is very Christian, very, claims to be Christian, because for me, it's a claim. And then she kept telling her children, purity is something you must look out for. Purity is I said that trauma will make judgment calls for you at the deepest and at the funniest time where you don't expect it. The woman kept saying, purity, you should not have sex before you marry. That's the core. That's a very... Some of you say those things, you don't believe it. Trust me when I say it. I've worked with parents long enough to know some things are a lie. That you tell yourself for face value. And one of those days, these children were watching a movie with their parents or their mother. And then in the movie, it was a girl who told me this story, right? In the movie, the girl was in that space and the girl was struggling to have a child or to have sex with the husband. And then the mother said, So they did that for 2 years and she did not try to know whether the thing is working. The daughters froze. I said that our Christianity, our knowledge of God is tainted by trauma. We say the things that we actually think is true, but it's not true. But it's not true. Somebody said trauma is the reason we do charity. 1 cup of rice and put it on Facebook. Yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to go. I don't want to go into details. I'll meet the others on Thursday and we talk about it really well. I'm not gonna push my boundary beyond. This is outside of the inner circle. If you're asking what the inner circle is about, it's a 1 year accountability system for parents to come and learn about life. Somebody said this is a life school, not just a parenting school. You learn about your life. Today I was talking about the orphan spirit to parents in the inner circle. You learn about different things, different areas of your life that you need to begin to put, things on and begin to solve it. Hmm? So it is important. Your first deliverance, and I love it, is actually to agree that you need a system. That's your first deliverance. To first of all understand in the place that I did not turn out okay. I need to be okay, better for my children. See, that man that killed the wife, he's not the one. The parents failed him. He was failed by the people who raised him. What he did was what he knew how to do. In my place, they say it's the person that they see their teeth. That's the person that has big teeth. Do you know how many men batter their wives on a daily basis? I have reports. But today, because somebody died, we need to call him a scapegoat, yeah? But many of the men that we have in our society today actually subjugate their wives, hit them, either emotionally, physically, or otherwise. And we clap about it. We actually clap about it. That's why you have your brother-in-law, your sister-in-law does something because it's your brother. And then he says, that stupid girl. I would have just said you should slap her if not for the things I know and I believe. Your Christianity is tainted by trauma. Your life is tainted by trauma. And if you don't deal with it, you will split on people who didn't cut you. That's what happened to that man. He bled on people who didn't cut him. Oh, because his own is out there, or because his own is, larger. Some of us have it in subtle, terms. In subtle terms. So your first deliverance is realizing that you're not okay. You're not okay. There's nothing. You are not okay. All these I'm okay. I turned out okay. Oh, you're not even okay not to talk of excellence. That's where we actually need to start from. That's where we need to start from. That's where we start from. A typical Nigerian will tell you just keep God aside. Let me finish dealing with you. When I'm done, I pick God. It's as if our life is separated. It's hypocrisy now. Our life is, and because trauma, it is what it is. You don't even know what you're doing. It will make judgment calls for you. Even when you don't call it, it will come. So it's either you pay the price now or you pay for it later. Either way, you do the time. Either way, you do the time. You do the time. So is it that you decide that you want to do it, I want to deal with you today, or you just continue to wing it? We continue to wing it. So that becomes, the route. Now, so fear of abandonment, that's what I had said. I had to, explain that in two different routes. Fear of abandonment. These days, we're not having parents who are so attached. You carry your children to everywhere. I saw jump registration center full of parents. I was like, wow, really, wow. And for us, we're a generation that love our children. Our parents abandoned us. Fair enough. But what you don't know is that is also trauma response. That's what you don't know. That's what you don't know. Very important. So if you're here, you're listening to me, one of the best things that can happen to you is to deal with trauma. We have the childhood trauma. I've said to the parents that I work with that it's compulsory to go through healing from childhood trauma. There's no, I don't know. And even the people who claim that they don't have trauma, when I sit with them, I see it in clear terms. I've had an experience traveling, and I was seated in the plane, and then the person who sat beside me just looked at me and said, "Oh, when do you look?" I'm like, "Yeah." The first thing that came to the person's mind was to tell me how her parenting was perfect. That's a red flag for me. Why did you have to say that to me? Anytime you project perfection, that's trauma list. Projection of perfection is trauma list. And then she said, "Oh, her children are very close to her." Anytime you tell me that, that's another red flag. "Oh, my children, they tell me everything." Red flag number 3. "Oh, my children are so close. I don't have any other friend." Red flag number 5. You are in trouble. And the moment she started to tell those stories, oh, my children are this, oh, my children are that, they're very close to me, they tell me everything. I saw someone who is languishing. I saw it and I smiled. It took me to ask her one single question. She broke down. This same person had her child write a suicide note to her the previous year, telling her the things and that she was a terrible mother. But so that she can put up that face value, so that she can do the things that our parents actually asked us to, she needed to appear perfect. Why? Because we grew up in a generation where the people who raised us told us that they came first all through. Nobody came last. What a generation. All of us, all our parents came first. So who came last? So there was always an infallibility narrative that was created in that era that have been passed on to us. That's what we are now having. Is the infallibility narrative that actually gets us to the point where we say, no, our parents were perfect. They did everything right. No, my parents did not do anything wrong. We are perfect. We are perfect. That word, that's where it comes from. And unfortunately, today I wrote a book called Raising the Trophy Child. And when I was writing that book last year, I wrote it because, in our time, there were trophy children that were, raised. I was a trophy child. My mom is here. And there's a lot of trauma infused in a trophy child that were raised in the 80s and 90s. I will leave it to that, right? But I realized that because of the kind of replication of trauma, we are now raising every child to be trophy. You are now raising every child to be trophied. To be trophied. So we don't want any child to fail. That's what triggered paying for exams. That's what triggered, going to do exam malpractice. Parents pay money. And hey, don't tell me that it's our generation that pay money. Parents in my time paid money for their children to pass exams. I saw it firsthand. And I can tell the story so well. So it's that same hypocrisy that makes us get to a point where we say, no, in our days, it was not there. Come on. He said, oh, tell me that it wasn't this rampant. Oh, well, a seed that is sown, by the time it germinates, it's going to have many fruits. That's what has happened to us. That's what has happened to us. And now, by the time that I sat with that woman, by the time I was climbing down the plane, she was literally holding my skirt and saying, Ma, I need help. And then I realized, you see, projection of perfection is an error in parenting. And that's what our parenting have given us. The infallibility narrative is a false narrative in parenting. False narrative. That narrative that tells you that you are right at all times. That narrative that tells you that everything you do is the right thing. It is a lie. It is a lie. It's not true. It's not true. That's hypocrisy. Now, when I tell you that we were raised with a lot of hypocrisy, now you get it. Now you get it. Somebody saying parents registered their children for a miracle center. Oh, that's a normal thing because you're afraid of failure. That's why. You're afraid of failing. You're afraid of failing. Number two, the unhealed inner child. You subconsciously see your child as a chance to become that child. So closeness becomes a way to suit your inner wound. I wasn't very close, to my parents. I really want to be close to my children. And then you get your children, literally get your children to do things just because you want them to be close to you. You want them to be close to you. No boundaries. My children are my only friends. When I hear that thing, I'm like, our parenting did us dirty. My children are only friends. I don't have any other friend. I can't trust anybody. And you sell that trauma. I say that trauma is generational. Most of what we call generational, what do you call it? Generational cause is trauma laden. He said, in our family, we get angry a lot. What does that mean? Somebody had passed their trauma from one person to one person, and then you now label it in our family. The men in our family are always very angry. You guys are traumatized and need Healing. Is it need or need? Today there was a conversation about need and need in my office. I don't know the correct one, and it's okay for me not to know. I didn't study English. I'm an Igbo girl. All right, so let's go. Now, another one is called what I call attachment trauma. If you had insecure attachment growing up, anxious attachment, you may seek excessive emotional closeness with your child in a way that is void of fear of disconnection and loss. You want to be able to tell your child things. You want to be able to tell your child things. My daughter, and people say this and say, I don't have friends. Oh, it's in the inner circle that I've broken the table of I don't have friends. If you don't have friends, you have a problem. That's why the man by the pool of Bethesda, Jesus asked him, what will you be? He said, I don't have any man. And he stood there for 38 years. 38 whole years. So not having friends is not something to celebrate. It's something that should get you worried. There's something wrong somewhere. Yeah, it should get you worried. All right. So the fourth one is identity enmeshment. Sometimes trauma can blur the boundaries, causing you to drive your emotional identity from your child. So it can lead to difficulty in letting them grow independently, even when it's healthy. That's what happened to that video that I saw. Identity enmeshment. So you are afraid. You are afraid. And then you begin to actually look at your identity enmeshment, and then you are now living off. It leads to difficulty letting your children grow independently. Hey, no, my daughter will not come her. Hey, they will rape her, they will kill her. My daughter was coming from a place one of those days during her internship before they went back to school. And she was in a cab, and she said the man was just talking all sorts of things, and she just said, my antenna stood. Mommy, I'm a girl with sense. My antenna stood. I did this one, I did that one, and I applied my tricks. I don't understand. If I were dead, is it me that will be carrying her everywhere? Continue. But it's your trauma that is making you to hear so much. Did you say we should not protect our children? No, that's what we're talking about. But when it becomes overly excessive, all these, I'm your friend, I'm not your friend, and all of that. So my children know that I'm not their friend. So that conversation doesn't happen in my house. I'm no longer your friend, mommy. No, it doesn't happen. It has never happened in my house. I don't have it. Because from day one, you realize that me, I have friends. I've dealt with all those part of my trauma. I have friends. I grew up with a father who understood social currency. So I have friends. I don't. My children are not my friends in any way. All right. So making your child, let me talk about that a bit. Making your child your friend is a trauma response that is designed as love. It feels noble. It's even beautiful. I just want to see, my children to see me as their best friend. When you say it on social media, it sounds sound. People are, coming under your post. That's what ignorance does. I call it intelligent nonsense. Ignorant, but you are just, it sounds intelligent. People say, don't mind them. Don't mind them. Don't mind all these things that they are teaching. Oh, they tell you that. You say, yes, my children are my only friends. It sounds like deep connection, open communication. Sounds like a loving bond. But beneath that desire, for many, is something entirely fear. The fear of being alone, the fear of rejection, the fear of repeating what your parent did to you, the fear of being irrelevant, unimportant. That's what you're afraid of. So you assert your importance by ensuring that you blur the lines. Lovely, absolute lovely nonsense. You blur the lines, and then your children are like your friends, this kind. I don't want them to get angry. So people come to me and say, I really don't want to remove tablet from my children. I don't really want them to get angry with me. Hold on. Because, of course, where you're coming from. So there's this fear of being irrelevant. Unfortunately, you can't be irrelevant by coming to the table with nothing. Most of us parents come to the table valueless. This is inner circle talk. But let me chip it in for you today. We come to the table as parents valueless. And you find that when children actually get to a point where they need real value, they don't come to you. Because I often say that emotions don't create relationships. They don't make relationships stay. It's principles that does. And principles includes the value that you bring. People attach to you because of the value you continually give. Most of us come to the table valueless. And we're coming like our parents. They came with emotions. Emotions don't get you anywhere in parenting, truly. It can only start the game. And that's why our parents would do things like, I carried you for 9 months. That emotional blackmail. You see that word? I carried you for 9 months. What are you? You need to bring something more tangible. You need to prove, really, that you're worthy of leadership. Most parents, you and I, cannot prove that we're worthy of leadership. We are demanding leadership instead of actually really leading. Instead of actually really leading. You are demanding it. You are supposed to listen to me, become the parent. Really? At some point, that lie can no longer stand. When it doesn't stand, what now happens? What now happens? So emotions, we kickstart it. And then the emotion cannot continue. How many of you can go to your parents when you have a problem, a real problem, and say, I have this problem, can you help me solve it? Because your parents can't bring value to the table, you don't go to them. See, you don't go to people to solve your problem because you love them. You go to people who can really solve your problem. So it's not love that takes you to the place of problem solving. So as a parent, you need to not just demand leadership, but you need to actually begin to live like a leader. That's what will bring you to that point. So most of our parents will end up with an emotion. They will either tell you to go to a prayer house or tell you, you know that this thing, we don't have a lot of parents who can bring value. That's what we're talking about. In the inner circle, we say you must grow up and glow up. You must grow up and glow up. When you become, you don't need to demand. When you become, you don't need to demand. So your job is to become that leader that can be followed. Jesus did not demand anybody to follow him. Most people, just, followed him. And even when he said, oh yeah, follow me, they saw something. That's why they kept following. Can your children see what can keep them following? Now we have AI, Google, whatever. The truth of the matter is that your wisdom is not enough anymore. But are you wise enough to position to actually parent from your wisdom instead of from your wounds? A friend of mine, her daughter who's in university, was having an argument with her colleagues in the university. And then she goes, let's call my mother. My mother is very wise. And she always has answers to everything. Her mother is a yada. And then they go pick up the phone, call and then immediately the whole class, the mother did not know the whole class was listening to our conversation. The whole class went opera. We said it. She said, I told you that my mom has plenty sense, wisdom. Everybody was shouting, wisdom, wisdom. Young people, 18. And all of them, boom. She was so proud. Will your children be proud of you that you are able to, all right, that you are able to actually give sound advice? Think about it yourself. Able to give sound advice. Sound. Can you give your children a sound advice? I have a parent in the inner circle, a pastor, Pastor Kelechi, I don't know if he's here, who would always share the testimony last year, my intentional parenting journey. He said, when I joined the inner circle, I couldn't understand why my son, who was 26, will always not, run things through me. I was angry. Why can't you run things to me? I'm not your father. He said, Coach, I didn't know that I have nothing to offer. I only had position to offer. He said, 2 years in the inner circle, Coach, there's nothing that boy does that doesn't pass through me. I've positioned myself as an authority. That's all. The guy just runs. And he said, one of those days, he screenshot the guy's WhatsApp status, brought it to me and said, Coach, look at me now. He said, the boy said, my father is the best thing that can happen to any young man on earth. He said, Coach, what changed? Wisdom. I came into the inner circle. I realized that it was about me. I needed to heal. I needed to deal with myself. And I needed to actually be able to put knowledge and wisdom. The Bible says that wisdom and stability wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times. Position to offer value. All these, do you know who I am? Your children are always in the place where you are the one, trying to command. You are trying to command commanding without anything, empty. Your children know when you are empty. Yeah. These children, they will uncover you. Your children will discover you. And when they do, may they find what is right. They will uncover you. They will know whether you're a cheat, whether you're a humanizer. They will know whether you're an idiot, you're irresponsible. They will know. At some point when they do, it becomes difficult if you have not positioned. So it is what it is. So if you are struggling, do you know why you struggle with teenagers? Is at the teenage age, they begin to uncover you. Is at the teenage age, they begin to uncover you. So they begin to see your hypocrisy. They begin to see that you are not all that. So that's why it's difficult. So people tell me that the worst time is to raise a child during teenage age. It's not true. That's my best time of parenting. Why? Because I understood what can go wrong. And I understood how to position myself to be that person. We have been able to influence our children even more at teenage age, more than ever before. So if you're struggling with your teenager, it's because they have uncovered you. They will not tell you. They will uncover you. Can know that their father is a foolish man or their mother is a gossip. They know that you're constantly on the phone gossiping with a friend. They know. They will uncover you and you have not positioned properly. So they begin to look down on you like, who are you to even tell me that I should be that? Who are you to even begin to tell me what I should do? That's what happens. So if your teenager is fighting you, come closer. It is you. Teenagers don't rebel. They actually rebel. They don't rebel against authority. They rebel against hypocrisy. Let me say that. Teenagers don't rebel against authority. They rebel against hypocrisy. The moment hypocrisy shows up, they rebel. So ask yourself today, have I positioned myself to actually be able to raise that person? So you reach for your child, not as a parent, but you want your child to be a companion. You want your child to confide in you, or you want to even begin to confide in your child. You lean on them. You seek comfort for them. You make them your emotional anchor. You make them an emotional anchor. Oh, blessing. It's a first year yada. My son told me on Sunday, Mom, I love the mother you have become. That's it. That's it. You become the person that actually want to be followed. Not the other way around. People don't follow idiots. If I'm talking rubbish here, you won't be here watching me. That's the truth. Your children inclusive. So the choice is yours. The choice is yours. So most of us are going through parentification. Parentification happens when a child is forced to take the roles beyond their emotional capacity. A child is the friend. You tell the child about, teenagers are very funny. So you call them and you tell the child about the wrong thing your father did. The child can see. And they can see also when you do the wrong thing to their father. So they are looking at you and like, this woman is not as nice as she thinks she is. She's not even all that. Is that so? Because I have open conversations with my children. Sometimes they tell me, they're like, Mommy, this thing that you did, that's not how I used to think that parents are, one human being. And because we did not project infallibility, when we failed, right now, they understood that we're vulnerable enough to fail, and it's okay. It's okay. And that's it. Who do you want your children to follow? Ask yourself, if I were parenting me, would I like who I am? Do I like who I am? I wish I can speak more and more. And I wish I can really, talk about a lot. But what do you need? Healing the fear, reclaiming your role. That's what you need. You are the safe space. You are the emotional regulator. You are the leader. Your child doesn't need another friend. You are not their friend. They need a parent who is emotionally safe. They need a parent who is born, loving. That's the real gift. That's the real relationship. Friendship with your child will come when you are adults, when they are adults. That's when your role will naturally be redefined. That's the truth. And if you have positioned yourself well, it becomes a mentor friendship kind of thing. So you stand as a mentor. It is fatherhood or motherhood to matriarch or patriarch to mentor. You're not positioned as a mentor. Mentors don't run around. They stand and you just learn from their examples. And then they share wise words. And then you're able to sit with them and learn at their feet. That's what it is. Who are you? Who are you? And I want you to, if you didn't pick anything today, your child is not your friend. Friendship is a tool in parenting. Your child is not your friend. If you make your child your friend, you blur the lines and you make a mess of that child. So let them be a child. Let them need you more than you need them. That's the way it is. Let them grow without the weight of your emotional, survival on their shoulders. That's how to raise wholesome people. You need to create the right bond about connection, not control. Relationship, not reliance. It's built through intentional parenting. Intentional parenting. Mentors don't run around the position. They stand. They stand. So if you're running kitty, your child is 20-something. You're running kitty, you didn't build yourself as a mentor. You didn't build yourself as a mentor. All right. How do you create this, bond, the right one? Let's quickly run. All right. I have a book called Raising the Emotionally Skilled Child. All right. Hope I have it here. For the team always, okay, yes. Raising the Emotionally Skilled Child. The first thing you want to do is to be emotionally available. And if you do not understand how to actually, work on your emotions, you can't be emotionally available. Your child needs to know that you are there, not just physically, but emotionally. There's a stability. There's a stability that comes with it. You validate their emotion without minimizing or fixing it. You respond to their emotion, need consistently, not just when it's convenient for you. You don't parent by your mood. You parent by your mind because you have built your mind. You have built your mind. Number two, you set boundaries. Children strive with safe limits. You're not afraid to tell your child, no, this is not how it's going to be. Because you're afraid that, your child is not going to like you. Like I often say to my children, I'm not ice cream. I'm a leader. People don't like leaders all the time. And even as a co-parent, I tell them, you don't need to like me all the time. Sometimes on a Thursday, I'm done. While some people are saying, hey, coach, I've come again. Some people are saying, what is all this? Must she take like that? And you're not supposed to like me all the time. And if you like me all the time, that there's something I'm doing wrong, that's the truth. I tell that to my children all the time. There's something I'm doing, as in you love me all the time. My staff don't love me all the time. There are days where the place is hot for everybody. And it's okay. I'm a leader. I can't please you in that manner. That's not my job. My job is to lead. And if I'm going to lead, then I'm going to set boundaries. I'm going to set boundaries. I'm going to be able to, say no with a lot of clarity. There are times that I say no. It looks like inconsiderate, but hey, it is what it is. The other day, our son needed to actually come from, a workplace, and they have not closed. And he asked me, should you come? I said, no, he shouldn't. He should stay until work is closed. He stayed there until work was closed at 6. He got home at 7, and it was at 8, and it was raining. And it was fine. He didn't die. That's what discipline is. That's what if you beat your child with a rod, he will not die. That's what the Bible is talking about there. It's not with a cane. That's exactly what the Bible is saying. So all these, the Bible said we should use cane, you should beat the child, you should. Meanwhile, you finish beating the child knows not to do anything entitled to the teeth. That is not parenting. Leaders set boundaries with clarity, with a lot of clarity. So setting boundary is an integral part of your parenting, and that's what discipline is. And for you to be able to do that, you need to discipline yourself. Respect their individuality. Your child is not your extension. They are their own person. You see all these mini me, extra me, pseudo me. You see all those things? That is evil, complete evil. God says that every person is raised as a God. Your job is to be entrusted a God in your hands. So in your hands is a God. In your hands is a God. God has given you as a guide. You owe nobody. So there's no mini me, pseudo me, better me, whatever, small me, all those non-junior, all those things that you call your children, whatever that signifies that is an extension of you. Your child is not you. It's a whole book. It's not a chapter in your own book. Your child is a whole different book. The books are two different things. So it's okay for you people to wear uniform. It's just family bonding and it's fine. I do. But my child is not a mini me. In fact, we have very divergent. My daughter is a different human being from me. God has called me as a guide. I am not the owner of the child. God is my own child. Will you teach me how to raise my own child? That's evil. Evil. Your own child. Can you create a human being? Do you have the capacity to create anybody? Your own child from where? So your child is not mini me. It's not you. It is who they are. Right? T for thanks. So respect their individuality. Observe who they are. Observe their interests. Our daughter came to me. She's very logical. And they came to me and says, you know that I'm going to actually do sciences, right? I'm like, okay. And then you know that I'm going to actually do my architecture and I have no business with your biology. I'm like, how is it my biology, please? He said, oh, you are in the medical field. I don't like anything to do. And I said, oh, it's fine. And she says, no, I'm telling you because I had a conversation in school and then the mother was telling her, you must study what it is that I studied in my life. I said, what is that? The parents will be okay. I said, who is the child? I will advise the child when I see the child in school and the parents will be very all right. So honor their uniqueness. Honor their uniqueness. And so you are not Mama Junior, Papa Junior, Star Junior. Please, he's his own name. Even when you name your child after your own name, you don't need to junior them. My youngest brother bears my father's name, but he's no extension of him. He's not junior. Then thank you. Number 4, prioritize connection over perfection. Prioritize connection over perfection. Okay? You will make mistakes. What matters is a repair. So don't go and sit down and say, I have made mistakes. I'm going to just sit down there. No, that's what healing does for you. When you heal, you're not going to come all of a sudden and become that person. And if you're looking for Jehovah Sharp, where they will pray for you and your children will become perfect, you're welcome to our world. They will scam you because that thing doesn't exist. Oh, just come. God is the one that parents children. Come and pray. We have a prayer group. Your child is about to become worse than you can even imagine. Because parenting does not answer to just prayers. It answers to the principles of raising a child. If God were to parent a child, the Son of God would have been parented by God. But God brought Mary and Joseph to still parent the Son, Jesus Christ. Parenting is your job. It's not God's job. Don't give it to God. Don't give it to God. It doesn't belong to him. All right? So God will help you. Yes. But train up a child. He did not say pray up a child. Thank you, Teresa. Train up a child, not pray up a child. Train up. There's a training to be done. So if you want, enter 10 WhatsApp groups praying for the child. Pray for now till tomorrow. Nothing will change. You can go and ask their life. And you can even go and ask Mary and Joseph because they need to sit down and do the parenting. They will squeeze you. Of course, you can see already the conversations we're having everywhere. You jump from one place to another looking for solution for what is not lost. Meanwhile, God has pointed you to what it is that you need to sit down and do. You stand back. That you want to actually jump and look for Jehovah Sharp, Prophet suddenly. It doesn't exist here. So if you're going to come here, it is about being present. Healing is a process. And if you want, say God forbid. Thank you, Sylvia. God forbid is not my portion. God forbid is not a parenting plan. It's not a parenting strategy either. You will fail. God will just be there. God watched Eli fail. Not because God couldn't do anything, but because it's not the job of God to parent anybody. Parent is done by man. God can do it, but God will not do it. Number 5, parent from wholeness, not emptiness. Parent from wholeness, not emptiness. Your emotional health directly affects your bond with your child, right? Heal your own wound so that you don't bleed on people who didn't cut you. I like that Bible story a lot about Jephthah. The Bible says Jephthah was a mighty man of valor, yet his mother was a prostitute. Why did he have to come? Because your past is not always in the past. It comes. It makes judgment calls for you. That's what happened to Jephthah. Now you say that didn't Jephthah know God? Jephthah knew God. But his trauma was his responsibility to heal from. That's the truth. Jephthah knew God. He was a mighty man of valor, was a child of God. Unfortunately, who gave birth to him, who raised him, became a determining factor to what it is that happened to him in life. So this is where I call you. Join the healing from childhood trauma course and attend like your life depends on it, because it does. Your children are not responsible for your healing process. Your children are not responsible for your happiness. The healthier you are, the safer they will feel in your presence. Because it is not their fault that things are happening around you. It's not their fault that the person who raised you. It's not their fault that you're angry with the world. It's not their fault. You need to take up that responsibility. The first thing to tell yourself from this class is, I need to heal. If you want to type that, you can type that. I need, it's a need, it's not a want. For you to actually be whole, then you will need to actually walk through this process. Some of us have walked this process for the past 15 years. Healing is not a one-day thing. How do you undo 30 years of harm and danger? And then you now put it up. And in 2 years, everything is gone. Totally impossible. They lied to you. They lied to you. That's why people come to you to say, collect prayer. I don't know how people used to collect prayer so that things will happen. Meanwhile, you don't know who you are praying to. In the word of God that he has given you, have you read it? You just want to collect prayer, pray so that there will be magic. It doesn't exist. You need to walk the walk. You need to walk the walk. And you need to do it consistently until the brain can repeat and rehearse it. That's the job of the brain. Because it's only what the brain rehearses that the brain remembers. The brain only repeats what it can rehearse. And this is a very solid part where it is that we end this conversation. Before I go, I want to talk to, there's a program that's happening on the 1st in the family hall, right? And I want to just show that to the people who are in Abuja, all right? So that you can just see we are hosting a one day event for couples who are in Abuja, an intimate round table, right? The details are on my screen. It's going to be happening at our office, the Family Hub. It's a Family Hub event, all right, featuring my husband and I. It's going to be an exclusive couples intimate round table. If you are in Abuja, you should come by. Ticket is 50K for a couple, 10 slots, only 3 slots to go as of today. It's happening on the 1st, and we'll have intimate, just a few people. We sit and we talk. That is one. Number 2, remember we are coming to Owerri. Who is excited about being in Owerri? Owerri is going to be awesome. All these faces you're seeing is going to be in Owerri. You do not want to miss Old Town. If you are in Owerri or in the environs of Owerri, all the people that have been telling me, when will you come to where they raised you? Blah, blah, blah. I grew up in Owerri, by the way. Yes, I'm an Old Town babe, brought buttered and everything. So yes, we're returning to my city. Now we're coming with the whole full squad for Old Town event. And then we're also coming to the US. The US is going to be something. In fact, you don't want to you don't even want to think it. On the 12th of July, we will be in the US. All right, we'll be in Maryland. You can come from wherever to actually attend. When we did the TIP Summit UK, people were glad they traveled 4 hours to be at the TIP Summit UK. Don't miss it. The good thing is that I think they have an online ticketing, so you can scan and get your ticket to be there. All right. So, and then the next thing that I want to talk to you about is that we have books. In the recent times, there have been a whole trend of these 2 books, Raising the Boy with Sense and Raising the Girl with You Don't Need to Be Loud. I can't wait to actually, you see these 2 books? Oh Lord, I can't wait for the review in the inner circle. Yeah, Dad, are you waiting? Are you waiting for the reviews? I cannot wait. And then you're looking to actually begin to, process through Raising the Independent Thinking Child is a book. Raising the Emotionally Skilled Child, the Trophy Child is also there. We also have books on connection. Discipline is not an emergency. From yelling to calm. Connect to correct. Resolving sibling rivalry. Solving family problems through effective communication. We're currently also reading this in one of the inner circle groups. Discipline that works. And of course, we have Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro. Volume 1, 2, 3, 4. And then walking your child through puberty. And we also have How to Love Your Child More. That's what we're reading for next week. Am I correct? For next month. How to Love Your Child More. Amazing book. I love it. I really, really love it. And we just finished talking about the parenting launch plan. Now, the parenting launch plan is one book that I advise anybody who wants to build intentional process to actually get. In this book is a launch plan. It's like a workbook that you walk through a launch plan and what it is that you're supposed to do. It takes you down up to your exit plan. How do you plan to live here? No errors, no mistakes. Because you're going to live here anyway, right? Are you going to live here forever? No. So that you actually also intentionally plan. And then you now have my legacy book. If you have a copy, Say Yes, The Kingmaker, Wendy Ologe. My message, my method, and my miracle. Lovely book. So these are the books that we have, and you can get copies of any of our books by reaching out to the admin number right on the screen. You can also follow us at Books by Wendy Ologe to get anything of our books. We currently have a book on trauma, a free book. The title of that free book is The Trauma You Don't Know. We are giving out this ebook free to everybody. The team is going to share it on all of the WhatsApp groups and everywhere so that you will be able to also see, some depth. I want us to be able to touch, some of these things that, that we are talking about. I just don't want us to, talk about trauma like it's one thing that we do not understand. No, I want us to talk about trauma like we get it. And that's one of the most important parts of our journey. For me as a coach, one thing that actually tells me that I have done my job is to see transformation in tangible terms. And that's why we create resources every day. That's why we create checklists. That's why we are constantly working through, with workbooks. We don't do any training without workbooks because we want you to actually touch what it is that you're doing. It takes a lot for us to be able to do all of that. But believe you me, these are some of the things that really is going to all be there. For Yadas, you're going to get this book directly in your inbox, all right? The team is going to share it in your inbox via your email. So Yadas, you do not need to bother, all right? That's the Yadas advantage. Come on now. You guys should share the fire emojis now. Come on, don't you love it? So yes, because you have a Yadas advantage, you are just going to have it in your inbox automatically. And if you can't get it in your inbox, the team will sort you out immediately. You know how we do it, all right? And please, now this is on a final note. If you're here listening to me and you have not registered for healing from childhood trauma course, please get that done now. One thing that I know, and I know it like I know my name, is that if you don't heal, you will bleed on people who didn't cut you. I've seen it happen over the decade, working with people, working with parents. And most times when I see some of those things, it bleeds my heart because the truth of the matter is that most of these things could have been avoided. If you registered, let me see you say, yes, I have. All right. Let me see you say, yes, if you're not a yada, like, why now? Why are you not a yada? So yes, get into the yard. Can please join the healing. If you are a yada, we have a lot of yadas in waiting. We already have cohort 1A almost full. So the yadas in waiting, continue to take the short courses so that you can actually be in those spaces. And all of these things, how can I get the books in Nigeria? Or just send to any of the numbers that you have on the screen. Please continue your journey. Healing is not a one-time thing. Healing is not a one-time thing. You don't wake up and you're healed. You don't attend one class and you're healed. No, it's not true. Healing is a gradual process. It happens over and over. I have particularly been on this journey as old as the twins are, 15. And every day, I still see things that I need to uncover and I need to deal with. Trust me, this is one course you do not want to miss. For 20,500 instead of 30,500, you get to register now. The early bird offer ends when? Am I seeing the screen? The early bird offer ends when? 1st of May. All right, that's just 2 days time. And this early bird offer, we're going to move to the next, offer. Please join. Just join, make payment, join, and be there. All right. If you want to know how to register, the details are on my screen. Just put the details on the screen or take a snapshot, or you would also see the link in description. Am I correct? You will see the link in description. Don't mind me. I'm constantly trying to look through the team and make sure that we're together. You will see the details in the description, and you can register. That's if you're paying from outside of Nigeria, all right? Because we know we have clients who are in Namibia, who are, everywhere, parents who are everywhere across the nations of the earth. So you are not excluded. No matter where you are or where you're from, we have Americans in the yard. We have British, we have Indians. I think these are the three. And then we have Namibians, Ghanaians, Cameroonians, Togo. So we have quite a number of parents who come from. And then we have someone from, I think we have two families from South Africa, if I remember vividly. Yes. So the academy is a global resource. We are able to actually share principles that cut across, the challenges of the group. So you do not have a problem, to be there. Yes, we have Indians. Yes, we do. You do not have a problem to actually be able to connect. All right. And when we say we have Indians, we're talking about Indian. And when we say we have Americans, we're talking about Americans, right? So it is everywhere. It cuts across. Anybody can be in there. If you've registered, encourage the next person to register. Tell the next person to, if we all heal, then we're all going to be better. Imagine that this man who killed his wife, somebody had told him about healing. By now, we won't have children who are roaming about without parents. That's the truth. And this guy would have actually made it. And then let me even extrapolate it a little further. We will not have children who will roam about, and then maybe our children will meet them, and then we'll marry people who are heavily traumatized, which is what happened in our generation. Some of us are married to heavily traumatized people. And trust me, it's not your fault, but you have a responsibility to heal. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Haytan. Oh, nice. You should say I'm a Haytan. We have parents from all over the world. All over. We love it. We love it. So join us. This is not a system of people who really understand what it is that they're doing. And if you want to join the inner circle, scratch that. You should join the inner circle. The inner circle, you see the details that is scrolling behind my my video. You would see the inner circle is 120,000 per year, divided by 365. It's not even up to money that you can buy Coke with today. So yes, and what you get, you can't even fathom. So yes, per year, that's what you will get. 120,000 per individual and 200,000 if you're paying for corporate. That's why I take a bow. And this is why I say thank you. Register for this course. See you in class. Yarders, see you on Thursday. Please come without thinking that you are even in the yard. Just come humbly with a cup of milk and with a whole blanket to cover the cold or the heat, whichever one, depends on what it is that you want to feel at the time. I am particularly excited and honored to be here. And yes, I had fun. I hope you did. And I hope you picked something that's going to change the trajectory of your parenting. Have an amazing day and see you again next Tuesday at the Cathedral.